good. Okay, very good.
Good morning and welcome to episode 1596 of Hard Factor. It is Monday, November 25th, 2024. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80-ish% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/Hard Factor if you need more Hard Factor. Today, a real quick announcement. We're not going to have fresh podcasts for Thursday and Friday this week, but we will be dropping
What
some
the fuck,
Patreon
Will?
videos.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
well, fucked up because we're going to enjoy Thanksgiving. Happy
But
Thanksgiving.
we will have heartburn. You guys got your turkeys yet?
No, I'm doing for the first time ever. I'm just buying Thanksgiving as a meal totally made, and I'm
You
so
go Whole
excited.
Foods? You Whole Foods in it?
No, a local place called Peren Bakery, like one of the best local spots.
Buying
I
local.
can't wait. Yeah, cannot wait. And so, have you guys done that before? Where you buy the whole Thanksgiving spread instead of just?
My mom's been trying to do it for 40 years.
I'm excited.
I've done it twice. One was the one Pat called out, Whole Foods. They do a good job of that. And then I did local at Hoover's. Remember they did the wedding for friends of ours. They like the local
Hoover's would have some
Hoover's. Mm-hmm.
The soul food place, Hoover's?
Soul Food.
Yeah, soul food Thanksgiving. That sounds delicious.
Mr. Hoover was out shaking everyone's hand and bought the turkeys. He donated a bunch of turkeys to people. Good guy.
Hey,
Yeah,
Mr. Hoover here. Enjoy my turkey. He said.
Yeah.
Straight from East Austin. Yeah, it's a great place. Hoover's. Any plans this year? What are you guys doing for Turkey Day? Anything special?
I'm going to Philadelphia to hang with Kate's parents. We'll be over
Philadelphia. There you go.
Philadelphia.
I'm hosting
Market.
West. I'm hosting Wes and a few friends of ours. Turkbacks from San Antonio. We're hosting
Hard Factor Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
Texas edition.
That's right.
Wow.
Wes will be real tired off all his Sunday weddings.
Yeah, he's got to work.
Where is Wes?
He's gonna have to leave early
He's
because
off.
somebody has a wedding on Thanksgiving night.
I never know when he's on. You know,
It's always a surprise. He's
I'm gonna
off.
wrangle him for Thanksgiving though.
He's off for this Monday episode.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's it. We will have fresh Patreon samples for you. If you're not a patron, they're new to you this Thursday, Friday. But we won't be having fresh news on those days because we should all be enjoying the break. And even if you have to work, enjoy the break with the Patreon samples. In the news today, what we're talking about is Ecstasy Gnomes. It really confused me when I had written out because it starts with a G, but it's gnomes. Draft dodging with food and fools in schools and more than that.
Yeah, we might also be talking about beautiful Sarah Duterte.
Ooh.
Beautiful Sarah, the vice president of the Philippines. Beautiful Sarah.
I love a good Duterte story.
She's so beautiful.
Is she like her father?
She looks like her father with a wig on.
Can't wait for that.
And she's just as murderous. So
Yes.
Right.
Now I was really asking more about the personality type, but it's even better knowing that
no, she'll kill you.
She looks like her father on the inside and outside, Will.
She will kill you.
Yeah.
apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
Jim Sobrato makes a good point in the live chat. Sex, drugs, and elves. That's kind of
That's pretty good.
right.
Yeah, no, this gnome story we're about to talk about absolutely just,
Mischievous.
insane.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions. Will.
Oh yeah, I'll get into it real quick. But the live chat, I was just Bill says enjoyed a nice Friendsgiving today, which is like that's between Thanksgiving and Canadian Thanksgiving. So Bill, maybe you're in Buffalo. I don't know. And then Bill says, hope the show goes better than Washington's special teams.
Ooh.
Thanks, Bill.
Didn't they do good in the beginning though? They blocked a field goal and a punt, but then they gave up.
I'll tell you what it was, Mark.
Sure
That
did.
was a
Typical-
special teams game.
Typical divisional game, okay? Tight, low scoring. Tight, low scoring.
Until the fourth quarter, which both teams scored over 14, at least for one.
Washington's kicker was
24, right?
back from IR. Washington's kicker they brought in to save the day because McManus sexually assaulted, but that got dropped. By the way, now he's kicking for Green Bay.
Doing good for Green Bay, yeah.
Kicking
But,
nuts off for Green
So
Bay.
Washington was effed with a kicker. We brought some kicker in that sucked, that lost the Bucks game, the first game of the season. Fired him. Brought in Siebert.
This Austin Siebert comes
and
in.
Siebert was a god.
Yeah.
Siebert was a god. He won so many games for us.
5 field goals.
Injured, out for 2 games. Brought in another guy who was great for a couple games, and then Siebert came back for his triumphant return. Mark, he muffed the extra point on the game tying miracle touchdown from Daniel
McLaurin. Yeah, and then
was so deflated.
And then his onside kick was so bad that they ran that back.
They gave him the onside kick back. Yeah, I mean he's off. Zane Gonzalez is back with the Commanders. Thanks for Bill in the live chat for reminding us all of that. Yeah, I mean it's not the Commanders' year, but come on, it's a great rookie and offensive coordinator, but the rest of the team is all free agents. You couldn't expect. I mean, it was a great start. Super Bowl was a little unrealistic.
The commentator said Siebert must have butterflies in his stomach before he missed the extra point.
Oh no.
Yeah. He did.
Nailed him. That sucks. You did at least take a couple draft picks away from the Cowboys, who were destined to get like a top 5, top 3 pick until
So you're welcome. The rest of the NFC East. Yeah. Congrats, Eagles. You guys.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay, let's talk about MDMA gnomes. It sounds like it starts with an N, but it starts with a G. Gnomes. Weird word. Garden gnomes. Okay. I'm going to read to you directly from the BBC content, which this is pulled from. It's a European story. But then we're gonna mix it in and talk a little drug dealing in general. Okay.
Dude, Europe loves gnomes and elves. They cannot get enough of them.
Especially the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
That's where this happened. Okay?
Iceland, Netherlands, like all the way up there. They love gnomes and elves. They love them.
Okay.
Yeah, where was David the Gnome set? Does anyone remember where David the Gnome was set?
Probably up there.
Okay.
Rip Van Winkle, isn't that guy like a gnome or something?
He's gnome adjacent for sure.
And that's
little
like
guy,
right?
Sleepy. Yeah.
Well, okay, here's the BBC Instagram post. They say police officers in southern Netherlands have found a garden gnome weighing 2 kilograms and made of the drug MDMA. Photo credit to the Dongemond police in the Netherlands and then Getty. And so that's the gnome, guys.
Someone be watching traffic.
That's 4.5 pounds.
They did that in traffic.
Well, yeah, I think he had like children's dolls that dissolved into untraceable cocaine.
Yes. Okay. So if you can't see the picture, think of that exactly. It's literally MDMA pressed into a gnome form. And Pat's right. That's 4.4 pounds. The garden gnome weighed nearly 2 kg and about 4 pounds. So I don't think it hit the 4.4, but it was a 4-pound pressed brick of MDMA pressed into a gnome. And
a kilo is 1,000 grams. That's easy to remember.
Yeah, so you got
drug dealer song.
It was like a metric system invading the United States song that then Ghostface flipped.
That's like Schoolhouse Rock for drug dealers.
Whoever got the kilos got the keys, baby. A kilo is 1,000 grams. It's easy to remember.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I need to listen to that one. Sounds fire. So it's one of the more creative drug deals drug smuggling operations we've seen. We've also seen obviously the pigeons, the backpack pigeons.
Oh yeah, the prison pigeons.
Right. You've seen candy. Everybody does candy.
Bananas.
Everybody does candy. Candy bars that are like cocaine in the middle. Everybody does like stuffed animals, right? Here's a stuffed animal that had a gun inside. Stuff like that.
Damn.
We've seen a lot of that, but this is really mostly close to Cheech and Chong, the weed van, the van that they made out of weed, and it's called Sweet Lou's Upholstery. And then,
oh man,
the van was made of weed.
That Ghostface song says, "Whoever got the kilos got the candy, man." Right. So you see, because the candy bar.
Right.
Oh man, yeah. It's like a Ghostface song. We're living in a Ghostface song right now.
Hell yeah.
We are also living in the 1978 classic Cheech and Chong. Up in Smoke.
Yeah.
It's a 47%.
That made less sense though.
47% on Rotten Tomatoes, so you know that it's good. Here's the trailer explaining the van of weed.
Cheech and Chong travel to Mexico to pick up the world's first van made entirely of marijuana. For years, people have smuggled grass across the borders in every way possible.
Do you expect to see any violence here today?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
They made Stacy Keach.
I love how I didn't know that Cheech and Chong had this trailer with like the fucking old school like announcer guy. I looked this up today. I love it. But yeah, so it's like that. They made the weed van, except it's a MDMA gnome.
So I'm always
you can put it out in your garden.
how to press though. Like the pressing makes sense to me that you get like, and the way the article made it seem is it was MDMA like flakes. So it was like leftovers. They were like packing so much MDMA. They're like, let's make a gnome out of this. But like, it makes sense. It makes sense that you could press a gnome. I guess if you had a gnome mold, the weed van makes less sense to me. Like, how do you get marijuana, which is a flower, to turn into like a textile?
It makes a whole lot of sense. Wait, let the 1950s announcer explain it to you.
I don't have a license.
You don't have a license? What do you mean you don't have a license?
Things get even higher when the world's only grass van starts smoking on its own.
What do you guys want?
The cop got ice, and what do you guys
Cop kind of
want?
looks like Lombard Trucking too.
A little bit. He kind of looked like Chevy Chase too, like a young.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, Cheech and Chong Up and Spoke, a classic. Oh yeah, another creative drug smuggling technique that is adjacent to the gnome. Real quick, and I just wanted to make sure that we didn't miss this one. This is also from Reuters, so you know it's real. They hid steroids one time inside of bottles that said "gay lube oil."
Yeah, no one's fucking with that.
Gay lube oil.
All right, get it in and out of here quickly.
Yeah, I don't want to touch it.
Even the drug dog is like, ew.
The gay lube oil. Who came up with that? That's crazy. Did he? I mean, it was steroids, so it kind of tracks.
Brilliant.
All right. So, anyways, these ones were found in Netherlands. These MDMA gnomes. It's not as maybe not. I mean, it's pretty epic. Maybe not as good as some of the ones we discussed, but it's
they're just so common there. It's such a good scheme because like everyone's getting their gnomes that they actually believe in. They like think these things exist, so they're so common there that everyone's got a gnome.
People are into it, right? Yeah.
How did someone test it though? That's what I just don't get. Like do you know enough about gnomes that you're like, this gnome seems suspicious?
No, I'm going to tell you right now, Pat.
It seems like a foolproof scheme. How did they get caught?
Kind of, but this is a quote from the officers, and they said, quote, "Drugs appear in many shapes and sizes, but every now and then we come across a special of things." I don't know how Dutch people sound. That's what the Donkerman police
that was
said
something.
Translated social media post. And the gnome.
That was a Dutch guy after the gay lube oil.
The gnome was found among suspected narcotics during a large search. And so this is why, Pat, they tested it. They said, in itself, a strange place to keep it regarded a gnome, the force said. And again, sorry for the Dutch translation. That's just my misunderstanding of the language. He said, that's why we decided to test it for a narcotic.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they were right.
They found this garden gnome that looks kind of like it's weird, right? Because it's like it's porous, right? So if it was a real garden gnome, you're like, maybe the rock would be a little bit harder than that. I don't know. It was amongst the other drugs they were seizing, so that's why they tested it. Because if it had been out in the garden,
all right,
it would have none the wiser. But it also would have probably dissolved into the MDMA that it is. You know?
Officers, relax. Just lick the gnome and then keep going around your search.
Yeah. But Pat, the Dongerman police, they don't play like that. And they cover the municipalities of Oosterhout, Geertruidenberg, Dremelen, and Altena. So just south of Rotterdam.
There's some real Nazis up there.
I mean, the words sound like it, but yeah. No, but
that's crazy, man.
Despite MDMA, aka ecstasy, you know that, right? So this is the same.
Right.
MDMA and ecstasy is all the same.
Molly.
Despite MDMA, aka ecstasy, being illegal in the Netherlands, the country remains one of the top producers of the drug on earth. So clearly, their passion, for the ecstasy, the MDMA, drug has led to some serious creativity in the industry.
Yeah, I think they got those like late night parties and raves that start at like 2 a.m. and then that's when they, talk about their belief in gnomes until the break of dawn.
Yeah, that's when they press together. They're like,
Right.
we have all these MDMA flakes.
Yeah.
Let's press them together in a gnome. And then they do it. And then it's fun. It's Europe though. So if it felt like I was wasting a lot of time with the Cheech and Chong stuff, you're right, because it's Europe, so it's pretty classic. You have no details at all. Besides, there was at least one gnome made of MDMA that the police found just southeast of Rotterdam. Somewhere. They don't even give you the town.
You gotta sell the fucking gnome, man. I know, but it's a liability to have the gnome here. I'm telling you. It was cool for a while, but you gotta sell the gnome. It was all flakes anyway, dude. I don't know. I don't want to sell it. I've taken a liking to the gnome.
No, I mean, that gnome was gonna work. It should have worked. It had to.
Dude, imagine how fucked up you'd get if you just ate like one of the gnome's fingers,
But is that like disrespectful to their culture of gnomes? Like, I think licking it would be fine, but gotta be careful.
So how much does a kilo of MDMA cost? This is what I want to figure out on the street.
I don't know. This is a lot of MDMA though. We're talking because these things get broken into little.
I don't want to Google that.
You don't want to Google it?
No.
A kilo is in Boston. Let's just put Boston prices. A kilo is like 35 grand in Boston. So you got 2 kilos there, 2.5 kilos. Call it
70.
Call it 80 grand.
Yeah, 80 grand gnome right there.
I mean, what makes more sense than a $6 million banana?
You're right. You're right. The Dutch are onto something. I mean, the Dutch have always been innovators. So,
yeah, they have.
Jim says $50 a gram. Fam prices.
$50 a gram for friends and fam. Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't in the form of a wooden shoe. A
clog,
cobblers,
clog, or like a wheel of Gouda cheese. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they could have done a lot of other Dutch things, but the gnome, it looks most like rocks when you press it together. So the gnome is a great idea. Again, had they like encased it, had they just like lacquered it up and placed them outside, nobody would have found the MDMA.
That's true. Well, good try, guys. Well, we've talked about at the top of the show and why we're not going to be on Thursday and Friday, but it's holiday season, right? And if you're spending time with your new partner's family or maybe new, friends, family, stuff like that, my point is, if you're trying to impress anyone this holiday season, get you some Chubbies, okay? As you can see here, I'm wearing the Dude Wears McCall, probably the coolest shirt I've ever owned. It gets compliments. They also have the amazing flannels that we showcased last week, and I'm sure we'll showcase again this week, that are so soft. So soft. And how about the Everywhere pants? You can wear them everywhere, and you will, because they're freaking comfortable as F too. AF. They got some, ultra cozy comfort clothes over there at Chubbies. Keep you feeling warm and looking better as the weather gets progressively worse.
That's the best part, though, Mark, is that the Chubbies clothes, not only are they super comfortable, they're extremely stylish. Like, it's the most stylish clothes I own, plus very comfortable. So it's what puts them on top.
Speaking of that, I did not expect to see the Chubbies NFL collection, which is incredible and stylish, but I'm damn glad I did. They've got buttery stretch polos and like really cool swim trunks with awesome patterns for your favorite teams. Right now they have 12 teams. Of course, the Eagles are one of them. I don't think the Commanders are yet, guys, but don't worry. In 2025, all teams
they're going to change the name, and then
2025, all teams are going to be there. Check those out. They're awesome, and everything Chubbies has is awesome. You should get it. It's a great gift for guys. Get it for your guys in your life for the holiday season.
Put it on your Christmas list. That's my whole Christmas list. Chubbies.
Yeah, put it on the list. So tell people, because a lot of people are like, what do you want? Just make it easy for them. Chubbies.
Hard Factor.
Check out their website for their best deals of the year. Folks, for a limited time, our friends at Chubbies are giving our listeners 20% off with the promo code HARDFACTOR20 at checkout at chubbiesshorts.com. You got squeeze the S's in there. That's CHUBBIESSHORTS.com. That's 20% off your order with the promo code HARDFACTOR20. Support our show.
Quick 20.
Get 20. I got to do a story. Everyone's talking about World War III, mostly because of our much anticipated board game. Some for the actual potential war, but the board game is really getting people going.
Oh, it's by the way, I mean, so shout out to the listeners who are coming together. Patreon.com/hardfactor. If you haven't heard the foundations of the World War III, the board game, but people are excited. Bert on Instagram. He is offered to get his 3D printer involved. So
Fuck yes, Bert.
yeah, so we're working on that for the wheel spin aspect of the game. We got Dave Storms. He was going crazy over the weekend with the AI.
He came up with like
the exact
rules.
Yeah, I mean the exact rules. So the World War III, the game is getting going again. Patreon.com/Hard Factor. One of the more recent Hive hours, if you want to hear the genesis of that, get involved. It's going to be $1 billion, maybe $1 trillion idea. So
it's going to sell like fucking hotcakes, and it's going to be incredible. But I feel like sometimes we forget that there are countries that, back to actual war, that require their citizens to join the military for at least, a few years or service period at the age of like 18 and older, regardless of the times being stressful or not. Right? Like, for example, South Korea is one of those. Here's the full list of countries.
Yes. Israel
is the most famous one.
For sure, because Israel requires men and women. There are some exceptions, but a lot of these countries, Brazil, in South Korea, they just require the men. Israel requires the men and the women. And that's the whole list right there. There's like 20 countries that in some form or fashion require military service. Switzerland's a funny one.
Tell you what, our country could benefit from not necessarily military service, but some 2 years of mandatory service.
Well, a lot of those are civic service.
Customer service.
A lot of those countries, you're doing anything for the government. It's not necessarily military, right? Like it's not like you're going. A lot of those countries, as Mark points out, Switzerland, they never go to war, so it's not like you're actually going to like battle.
Yeah, it's some sort of like government type. If you were to go to war, you red tape. A lot of the jobs are not combat, right? But it's military adjacent or whatever. And so, of course, not every single man wants to join the military in these countries and be on the front lines of, like in South Korea, front lines of shit balloons on the North Korea, South
Russia
border, right?
too. South Korea is not a great one. Russia is not an idea.
Oh, cool! 12-hour shit balloon cleanup duty. Thanks. Some are cowards, like the Hard Factor host, I'm sure. And luckily for those cowards, there are a few loopholes to get excluded. Like, for example, if you're a fat tub of lard, they don't want you.
Always got that one going for me. If a draft comes, I'll just be way too fat.
If you're a fat tub of lard, they don't want you eating all the MREs and asking for breaks during the marches.
Yeah.
Go get an extra MRE. Yeah.
You're going to eat that.
You got swollen feet in your military boots because you got gout, you fatty. So one 26-year-old South Korean coward started talking with his friend about how he didn't want to serve a combat role, and his friend suggested
he was so scared of the ship balloon.
Yeah, exactly. They're not really at war. And his friend suggested he just eat a ton of food and gain a ton of weight, so much so that the military said thanks, but no thanks. And that's what this guy did. That's exactly what he did, doubling his calorie intake.
Ruin your life.
Yeah, he doubled his calorie intake for like months, which allowed him to balloon up to over 225 pounds. And you have to remember that the average height for a Korean man is 4.5 feet. So that's pretty big.
Right. And also, yeah, exactly. And what's the average weight of a Korean? It's got to be like
86
right?
pounds. He was 2.5 men. And during his physical exam, they took one look at him and said, "Uh-oh, you huge fat," and marked him down for a cushy non-combat role in a government agency office with reinforced chairs. But eventually his scheme came out, and recently he was sentenced to a year suspended service by the courts for purposely avoiding military service. And
so you got an extra year.
Yeah. And the friend that helped him got 6 months for aiding and abetting, which he's not real happy about. As he said, yeah, I joked about it with him, but I didn't think the fat idiot was going to go through with it.
Right. That's tough for the friend. Yeah.
And you might be wondering, like, how exactly could they prove that he just ate a bunch to not join the military? And how they did it, besides getting the friend to narc, was they gave him an initial physical exam, and he was in incredible shape and passed it. And then when he came back for the final exam, he'd ballooned in size, and he failed it.
How much time did he have? Like a year?
I think it was like 6 months. I think he just ate.
That's impressive.
And ate for like 6 months, but he just ate so much food.
But they're not at war, are they?
No, I mean, no. I mean, they always
North
could
Korea,
potentially be with North Korea, but they're not like shooting at each other. Technically,
they're in a forever war with North Korea.
Yes.
They have like the DMZ or whatever, demilitarized zone.
They got guys with they got guys with machine guns outside the DMZ. But
right, but it's not like it's not like a hot war. It's like a cold war constantly.
He just didn't want to do it.
He just want to play video games.
Yeah, he just wanted to play video games. So he ate his way out of it, but they caught him. That's
amazing. So he just has to go to the shit balloon front line for even longer, for an extra year.
And his fucking buddy got 6 months for just suggesting it.
Damn.
His skinny buddy got in trouble.
Well, now he's gonna get into smoking, probably, or whatever the Korean troops do.
Right.
To pass the time while they sit.
But they're gonna make fun of him so hard. They're gonna bust this guy's balls.
Still serving that extra year, huh?
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about ineptitude in public schools?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Me too. So there was, I didn't know, but I guess it makes total sense that there are backup school bus drivers, substitute school bus drivers. I can't think of ever having one.
I know of that. Yes,
it makes sense. You need to get to school.
And when you have little kids who ride the bus, like I've got my daughter in pre-K rides the bus already. And so when you have kids that young, you actually get like the numbers and the names of like the driver and the backup driver.
Right. Yeah. They got to get to school and yeah.
I didn't know, but yeah, that's a thing. And in Colorado, one school bus driver who is a sub is saying, quote, "I wish I'd done better after absolutely blowing it and leaving kids at the wrong bus stop. In freezing temperatures after dark." Dude, what happened?
Bus driver is such a great job.
Last comment from Jared Lindsay goes, "Surprised that's not one of Mark's gigs."
Bus driver.
That's too much vehicle for me, Jared.
That's a lot of vehicle. That's too much truck for him. It's too much truck.
That's too much.
Oh, did you start working on your alter ego, Mauricio? He might.
Oh yeah, dude.
Might be a bus driver.
I'm gonna have an Apple taped to the wall soon. I blew it. Yeah, it's gonna be called App Wall.
Well, that's smart. It's a new app. Let's hear from the local news about what happened.
Driver with the Douglas County School District has been fired, but parents in Castle Rock still want answers after a frightening experience for kids.
And that driver dropped off dozens of students at the wrong stop, leaving some of them wondering how they were going to get home.
And Michael, what they thought was going to be just a normal, regular afternoon, taking the school bus back home on a route they always take, it turned out to be a traumatizing afternoon for many of these children and students. And earlier I was able to speak with many parents who said their children were left on the side of the road, abandoned, and now they want answers.
The kids were petrified, the fear in their eyes.
Ashley Stark calling it a devastating experience for her two girls, ages 7 and 10.
All the kids said that they felt like they were being kidnapped.
Tony Martin's 8-year-old daughter was also on the bus.
That night she was very hysterical, didn't want to kind of be alone.
Children told their parents the bus driver parked the bus at the school but didn't leave on time.
He was telling the children that he refuses to leave until everyone is silent. He proceeds to miss every single one of their stops.
The children were then dropped off at a busy intersection just over 2 miles away from the school and miles away from where they live.
My kids were left stranded and abandoned on the side of the road at dark, and a stranger brought my children home. Kids are now, really scared to ride the bus. And rightfully so, because that was incredibly traumatizing.
And parents left wanting accountability, saying there's no excuse for what happened.
Sorry, it's never good enough, and that's just not going to be the case right now.
No matter which way you slice it, this is child endangerment.
Maybe. I don't know.
Looks like I misplaced the drop-off list, so I'm just going to wing it.
Apparently, the guy said,
what?
He said when he got to the final stop, he said, "Everybody off my bus."
Yeah, he had a mental breakdown, this guy. That's amazing. See, he's a substitute bus driver, never has to work, and he had to work one time, and he couldn't handle it.
Damn.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. He said, let's see. Oh, the poor guy, Irving Johnson, the bus driver. "I would just like to apologize. I'm sorry. I wish I'd done better. I was unfamiliar with the route and my tablet wasn't working.
Exactly. So
he asked the kids for directions. And when asked if he felt like he did his job keeping the children safe, he said, "No, I don't. I didn't think about it." I didn't think about the fact that I had kids who got off the bus and this wasn't their stop. I was just stunned. I was stunned. So
he was so stunned he just demanded them all get off.
He was overwhelmed.
I like how he. I mean, it's a bummer because it's a hard job.
His name is Irving Johnson. His name is Magic Johnson. It's Magic Johnson.
Irving Johnson, man, it's a hard job. And
take him off the list of subs.
You could see how you could have a mental breakdown. I just like how he like laid the law down. Like minute one, he's like, "I don't move till this bus is silent." There's a new sheriff in town, and he's Irving Johnson. Damn it, the tablet's not working.
Which potentially added to the complexity of his job because, it sounds like it was some sort of after-school thing, but had he left maybe quicker, it might have been less dark during part of that ride.
And then also the kids are scared to give him any instructions after he screamed at them. So
exactly.
They're not going to tell him how to get home.
And it's harder for them to give directions in the dark. Shouldn't he have called his supervisor or someone? Been tablets down.
He did everything poorly. Yeah, about as poorly as you could do on all fronts.
Driving.
Johnson
the mom who was she was brought home by a stranger. She was brought home by another parent. Some other parents,
right? So somebody whose kid has a cell phone. Which
it's excellent that everyone got home safe. Could have been really bad. Some of the parents are definitely leaning into it to get whatever they want.
Yep.
Out of it. Yeah.
That one dad was very stoned. Yeah. Anyway, that happened. Sorry, Irving. I feel
sorry to Irving.
Sorry to the kids mostly.
Yeah, not the kids. Sorry to Irving.
Irving's gonna have
to deal with that.
Community service or whatever the fuck they make him do.
Feel bad for Irving. I do. I feel bad for him.
Because he was overwhelmed.
Because I could put myself. I could be in Irving's shoes, dude.
But you're not. You didn't sign up to be a bus driver like Irving.
Do you think Irving wanted to sign up to be a bus driver? Irving took what work was available to him. Whoever got Irving on board was like, Irving, it's easy as pie, buddy. Trust me.
These kids had no respect.
And obviously some other kid fucked with him.
Yeah.
Because, whoever's bus stop it was, they just dropped him off at a busy intersection, but some older kid was like, right here, everyone gets off here, bye.
Everybody fucks with backup bus drivers.
Someone wanted off that bus.
Yeah, it's part of the gig.
All right, let's talk about beautiful, the stunning, the magnificent, the elegant Vice President of Philippines, Sara Duterte. Look at beautiful Sara. Look at her.
Like her dad.
She looks a little bit like her dad, right?
Sara, power lifter.
Sara Duterte.
I was wondering this earlier.
Beautiful Sara.
Can a woman be a unit? Because Filipinos.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so she's like a unit of a Filipino woman, kind of because if women could be units, she's like a unit because
she looks like a UFC fighter.
Yeah, it looks like she could take you in a cage. Yeah, she looks like a strong ground and pound too, Mark. Yeah. Like she would really be dominant once she got you on your back.
Don't let her get a paws on you, man.
It's beautiful, Sara.
Those are meat hooks. Yeah, those are. Look at them right there. The strength you could see.
Yeah. Here's her and her dad together. Duterte, who was a dictator who ruled with an iron fist for many years. And Sarah's in the news because she's the vice president, as I said. And she said she's contracted an assassin to kill the president, his wife, and the House of Representatives Speaker if she herself is ever killed.
It's like a mutual destruction,
contingency plan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She said that publicly, and then she doubled down after her lawyer said, no, this is just a joke. And she said, no, it's not.
Yeah. And then she said, so come on.
Yeah, she threatened to kill Bong Bong Marcos, which is the president.
Well, this is crazy because Bong Bong is like ultra right. Sarah's it's crazy. The Filipino politics is interesting because the dude Bong Bong, everybody was considering him like way too extreme, but now the Duterte generation 2 is coming up, and so I thought that he was also very extreme. So I'm confused about.
I can't imagine Bong Bong is going to take threats to his family from a woman laying down.
All right, so here's what happened.
He's going to respond.
He's got religious zealots that go for him. I think that's the thing with Bong Bong. So you got
he runs that place. Yeah.
Right. So he's. I mean, it's a clash of the Titans right here.
Here's how the falling out occurred, guys. First of all, just backstory: Bong Bong and Duterte ran as a ticket back in May 2022. And they won with landslide victories, calling for national unity. And the two leaders in their camps had a falling out over key differences. This is according to the AP, including their approach to China's aggressive actions in the disputed South China Sea. And Duterte resigned from the Marcos cabinet in June as education secretary and head of an anti-insurgency body. So I guess she was doing... And I'll tell you what, her body is an anti-insurgency body. Don't fuck with it. 'Cause she will fuck you.
She'll lock you out.
Up.
Don't try her.
Don't try her, dude. Don't try her.
I wouldn't try her.
I wouldn't try her. Back up, dude. Back up. No, I guess she was vice president and that. But yeah, she said, and this is the quote, "Why would I kill him if not for revenge from the grave? There's no reason for me to kill him. What's the benefit for me?" But, you know,
if I was from the grave,
if I were to be killed,
makes total sense.
There's no better revenge than from the grave. The revenge of the grave is the best.
I'm with her on that.
Yeah.
Pat, who is more anti-China in this situation? Is one like pro-China wants them to take Taiwan and the other one's not? What's the situation there with the Bong Bong loves China or Duterte loves China? What's that?
I'm not sure. I think probably neither of them like China. It's probably just whether or not they should engage China.
Oh, it's like who hates China more? And
then, who wants to escalate? Right? It's a similar situation that we're going to be in with fucking Taiwan. It's like no one likes China, but what are you going to let China do or not do because you don't want to fuck with China?
Well, the Philippines really have no say what China does. Is that fair to say? Because I mean, they're not.
I don't know.
They don't.
I don't know about
they don't.
Right. What got it to the point of both them threatening mutual destruction to each other's families?
Yeah, it seems like
assassinations.
Look, guys, I don't know about that, but I do have more quotes from the anti-insurgency body, Sarah Duterte.
Yeah, I do want to hear about that.
Don't worry about my security because I've talked with somebody, and if I'm killed, you'll kill BBM, Lisa Arianta, and Bong Bong.
The names
the president.
Of the kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
No joke.
Oh, that's cold.
And then he goes, no joke, no joke. I've given my order. If I die, don't stop until you've killed them. This is at a public forum.
Filipino politics are intense. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty intense.
I wouldn't try her.
Yeah. That's about all I know.
Does she do any amateur MMA? Did you?
I don't know, but she could.
How'd she get that neck, Will?
Yeah, she's a tough lady. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, she said if you're going to assassinate me, you might want to use armor-piercing bullets, then pointed to her neck.
Right. Well, plus she grew up in the house where her dad like kept making out with dudes, but then probably wrestling them right afterwards. Because didn't he have that weird thing about like kissing men, but he wouldn't.
Could have been a handsy growing up. Yeah,
Filipino women ungayed him. They ungayed him.
Yeah, that's right. That's the one. Yeah,
so, they turned him straight. He goosed some Filipino ladies, and all of a sudden his dick started swinging the other way.
Right, so that's a volatile household. I'm saying, Dad. Yeah, I mean, he's got. That's a big transformation that she lived through.
There's a lot of people in and out of the house. A lot of wrestling matches and
lubed up dudes, chicks.
Yeah,
a lot of screaming. He's a fiery guy. So she forged in a crucible. That Duterte.
Something to keep an eye on over there in the Philippines.
There you go.
Thanks, Pat.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
I think that's it, Pat.
Okay, that's the show. Yeah, sorry. Be careful. Don't try to kill that lady or she'll fucking kill you. And get out there and have a great fucking day.